I turned 50 last month, and I kind of realized that I don't have any friends. In fact, you know what I did for my 50th birthday? And I actually asked my wife to help me out with this. I did nothing. I stayed at home and had dinner. And, I don't know. Somehow in my head, 50th birthday, I was kind of led to believe or brainwashed into thinking it's like some huge milestone or something. But I don't know. I didn't want to do anything, right? I mean, it's just another year. But getting back to the point of having no friends, it's part of the reason is I realized now that I reflected on it, it's like I kind of didn't want to have a party or anything because I don't really have friends. And whoever would turn up would not really be real friends, right? They would just be people showing up because they kind of know you or somehow acquainted with you and kind of guilt tripped into coming in for some reason. And it's kind of strange, right? Because, the 20-year-old me looking at the 50-year-old me would pretty much be like, dude, man, I turned out to be a freaking loser. Look at this older guy with no friends and, sitting alone recording a YouTube video in his bedroom. And I get that, right? That's totally what I would have thought if I flipped myself back to my 20s. But I can flip it the other way, and it's not a flip, it's actually what I am now, 50. Looking back when I was 20, I'll be like, damn, that 20-year-old kid didn't know what was going on and didn't know what was happening in life. So I just wanted to share a few moments with y'all to talk about this topic of friends at this age and my thoughts on it. But, basically, when I look at things today, I realize after living, enough of life that there are different types of what you call friends, right? There are people that are on the periphery, like your social networks and, people you are acquaintances you don't really know except maybe by name. And then there are people, at work, so your colleagues at the office that you go to that you see like every day. And those are people that they're just forced into your life because you just happen to be put into a situation with them, right? So it's like whether you like them or you don't like them, they're there every day. And if you happen to like them, they become your friends. Then there are people in your professional network, right? People you do business with outside of the office. And some of them you might like also, and they become your friend. Then there are people that you meet in a hobby that you have, like an interest. And those people can become your friends, and so on and so forth, right? And so those are different types of quote unquote friends that you can have. But essentially, like, as I've gotten older, I realized that, I started questioning like why I need to be friends. In terms of friends, it's like, am I hanging out and talking with you and chatting with you every single day? No, I don't do that with pretty much most anyone actually anymore. Part of the reason is, okay, now I'm married and have a family, and if that's basically taking up my time. If I do interact with people, that's where I channel all my energy and time to your family, and that's understandable. But why is it that I don't have friends outside of that? And I really started thinking through like, hey, why is that the case, right? And I just realized that, partially I'm just tired of fakery. I just don't have, I just don't have the time and energy to devote to those types of setups, especially if you're not anymore in the game of playing the game, which is who's got the bigger and more expensive and better looking blah, 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 whether it be a car, a house, a girlfriend, a wife, kids, or anything that you play the measuring stick game with. If you're not playing that game anymore, there's really I used to play that game when I was younger in my 20s. Big car, I was driving a BMW 750 Li when I was in my 20s, right? It was freaking a huge waste of my money at that age. But so I know what playing the game up to my midlife, right, was like. And but I'm not playing that game anymore. So like that whole equation is gone, right? There's no need to have acquaintances in that space. And the rest of quote unquote friends I have, like in hobbies and professional networks and all this, I don't need to talk with them. It's not like my best friend when I was in elementary or in high school. These are people I interact with happenstance, like when I'm doing my hobby. Like I like to cycle, so there are people I meet when I cycle, and we go on group bike rides sometimes, and they're friends in that sense. I connect with them on Strava. Hit me up on my Strava profile if you're in Strava. But yeah, I mean, so there are friends that I meet on acquaintance when we're doing something together, right? And sometimes we chit chat and all that, but that's to the extent. It's centered around the hobby. And same thing for professional networks or work-related thing. Like when we're doing some project together, that's when we interact. We have a good time because we get along, but that's it. But like the support of a best friend, BFF and all that, I mean, that's pretty much my family, especially my wife, right? And so that need has gone down. Some of it taken over by family, but I'll tell you, some of it's because I just don't have time and effort. I'm just tired, right? I'm just tired of the pleasantries and the fakery. It's a waste of time and energy for me. So it's not like I'm a terrible person and I'm mean to people when I mean. No, I'm like, kind of a easygoing guy, right? People will kind of say, hey, what's Sang like? He's kind of a chill, laid back guy. It's not like I'm negative in that sense, but as far as forming a friendship relationship, it's just too taxing, right? Because people are people, ultimately, right? People are people, and they'll do what they need to do. Does that mean I don't want to help people? No, that's why I kind of gave up my job and I'm doing this FoFty thing. The whole point is to help people, but the way in which I help people is different, right? It's through a way that can scale and can get the message out to as many people as possible and build a program on factory resetting yourself, no matter what age you are. And if that is of interest and of help to you, then please subscribe and follow me on this journey. But getting back to the whole friends thing, there's just been a shift in terms of what friendship actually means to me. And does that make me lonely? I think not, right? So what happens in life is when you live life long enough, you end up finding who you are, right? Hopefully. Right? Usually by the time you hit your 40s, going into your 50s, you know who you are. You have found yourself. And unlike when you're in your 20s, when you, chances are, don't know who you are yet. When you're earlier, you're very insecure. So you always have to prove yourself to people. You got to show, that you're this, that you're that you could do this, that you can do that you're worth this and you're worth that you're this smart and that this charismatic, and the list goes on. So you're always, up there pumping your chest out. And there's a lot of people doing that same thing, and so you form friends that way. It's like kind of like a circle jerk, if you will, of chest pumping, which you're supposed to do when you're young, right? To figure out, but by the time you become 40, or usually around that age, you've lived through enough of life and had enough experiences, both up and down, where you kind of know who you are already. And once that happens, the goal is not to chest pump anymore. It's actually to, once you found yourself, the goal is to stay true to who you are and not be something else. You can make the excuse that you were not yourself because you didn't know who you were when you were younger. And that's absolutely the case. But as you live life and you figure out who you are, then you're faced with this dilemma of, now that I know who I am I going to stay true to myself, or am I going to continue on this chest beating, I'm better than you, or I know this many people game that people play when they're younger? And that's the branch and the dilemma people will face when they find themselves. And the thing is, if you do choose to go down the path where you stay true to yourself, you'll realize that all of the social circles and friendships and all this don't really matter, except in one case, right? And that is when you find people who are on the same journey as you after you found yourself. And when you meet those people, it's kind of like, it's not a friendship. It's like different. It's not a friendship. It's actually kind of like a camaraderie, like people, I guess, going to war or battle together. It's like, it doesn't matter if you don't like their habits or this or that. There's an overarching, a higher level involved of importance that binds you to other people. It's very rare to find other people who are on the same journey as you, but when you do, you'll know who they are, and you'll realize that friendship is beyond the friendship that you understood earlier. Because again, there is this higher purpose that's combining your relationships together, and it supersedes the typical stuff. And in those relationships, I don't mind, putting my time and effort in, because I mean, we're going for a higher purpose, right? And so that is, I guess, what friendship means to me today and I do, and it's not like I have to talk to them every day or, like all the typical stuff that friends do apply, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that these people would support me if I'm in need, and I would do the same for them. But there's like this underlying reason why, right? Not above and beyond just we get along and we like each other and we have fun and we crack jokes, and like those are kind of superficial. Like, there's this underlying reason why we would do that. And if you find that with other people, that's what friendship actually means to me today. And so, look, am I alone? You can have a lot of people on social networks, and you can have a lot of friends in your Rolodex. You can go to big parties and you can know a lot of celebrities and billionaires and all this and that. But you could be very alone and lonely, right? I mean, it's not like I don't have any networks. Like, I mean, if I go to my LinkedIn account, I have like 40,000 quote unquote followers there. But what does that mean to me? And I stopped kind of posting on LinkedIn because I kind of grew out of like that whole echo chamber over there. Let me know if you want me to do a video about my thoughts on LinkedIn in the comments if that interests you. I might do that one day. But yeah, no, what does that mean to me? It's a one-way thing. It's like I don't want or need anything from that group of people. To me, it's more of like I want to kind of share my message to them. So it's really more of like a platform to kind of share messages, right? Is the way I look at it, a one-to-many approach. And the same goes for YouTube, right? So the more people who can listen to this and find solace and value and help in what I'm saying, I mean, that's what the whole point here is, right? And so that's kind of my take on not having friends at 50. It's I think it's just an evolution of life, and also an evolution in what friendship actually means at this age. And so, yeah. If you're my age or approaching, and you found who you are and you agree with this, hit the thumbs up and share this video so that others can also listen to it. But that's the way I look at things, and I'm looking forward to the next 10 years of my life and how this thing evolves. So until the next time, peace out.